How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Friday edition of the vlog. I really don't feel like doing Box Office Bomb Squad right now, but this is another edition of KL Talks About Movies. So, I've been waiting on the Red Letter Media guys to put out their Solo review, just because they are the hardcore, like, hold Disney to task over their movies, and I think they have like 5 or 6 videos already on the nature of like how things have gone with Solo, and I don't know how this is going to work, because if Deadpool makes $50 million, Deadpool 2 makes $50 million, and then Infinity War makes, say, 25, and Disney, Solo gets 60, this could be a very low opening for Solo. It might not break $100 million. I don't know for sure. I have not looked at any of the numbers. The only number that I am aware of is that it had as many, if not more, pre-release ticket sales than the Black Panther. So Black Panther made $260 million. I don't think all of them were pre-ticket sales or pre-release sales. So I'm really curious how it's going to turn out. It's a 4-day weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, and that could be huge for movies that are coming out and all that. And someone pointed out to me, I'm going to talk about this just because, that I'm only talking about the big movies that are coming out instead of the smaller ones. I mean, let's see, I'm trying to think. Super Troopers came out the week before Avengers Infinity War hit. And that movie is worth talking about because it's funny, it's awesome. I've seen clips of it. I haven't seen the whole thing, but Super Troopers deserves to be talked about, and it made its budget on the first day, which was more than I think the studio was expecting. So I think that because when it comes to movie box offices, it's all relative. The records that we talk about are like not like, they're good records for like releases, but in terms of advanced metrics, they're not like even though they're making more money, the tickets cost more now. So when they say they make more money, what they're really doing is they're selling less tickets to get to better records. If you were to just go by ticket sales alone and not how much money it made of all time, Gone with the Wind would be the #1 movie of all time for all time, because it played forever. It had so many people go see it. I don't think there was anything up against it that was like of real consequence. Like, I'd actually have to look into what Gone with the Wind came out against back in the, I don't know, 30s, 40s, long ass time ago. So when you have these movies that break $1 billion in a month, that 3 or 4 years ago wasn't a thing. Like, it was Avatar and The Dark Knight that broke $1 billion. Avengers worldwide did it in a month, and I don't know for sure like how much the landscape has changed since then. I know that China is a more focused on market, so you have these movies that'll come out that'll be easy to dub over, like things that have a lot of subtitles. Like The Mummy, for example, was sort of built to be the first entry of the Universal Monsters universe, the Dark Universe, and it was sort of built to be easy to redo in other languages, like a lot of action, like a lot of things that didn't need to be whatever, that could be subbed, that could be changed over. So that's the way things have been going. I don't know like what it was like when The Dark Knight was coming out. I couldn't tell you. I wasn't paying attention back then. But Solo, just like I've said it before, it's had, like, it changed directors, and when they said it was at 90% completion, and they reshot a lot of things, and like they said, like, oh, we had 2 weeks left of scheduled shoots. Meanwhile, like 2 weeks later, it's like they're still shooting stuff. It's like, what's going on? The original screenwriter said that he wrote this awesome Han Solo story, and then the directors came and turned it into a comedy. And I don't know for sure what the deal is, because they were accustomed to big movies. They had the 21 Jump Street franchise. I don't think they directed the first one, but I think they directed the second one. But it, like, there's $30 million movies and there's $100 million movies. $100 million movies, like the amount of CG, the amount of like Seth Rogen once said in an interview that when he was working on the special effects like editing phase, that he had a whole new respect for Michael Bay in the Transformers movies, because even though like the storytelling of the CG is not really that competent in the Transformers movies, the presentation of it is so competent in terms of like color correction and does that look real? Does that look all right? And I'm not saying that it had the right balance in the Transformers movies, but like Seth Rogen is a funny guy, but he doesn't exactly throw out like lines like that like willy-nilly. So all right. So anyway, for I'm trying to think like what's coming up now, because there's Jurassic World or whatever 2 coming out next. There's what else? Well, anyway, back to what I was saying about the small movies. I'm paying attention to the tentpole movies, the movies that are supposed to make money, or like in a perfect world should make money, and I'm looking for the ones that are duds, the ones that get people fired. I mean, sure, there's going to be a horror movie out there that's going to have, I don't know, killer Facebook posts on it, and that horror movie is not expected to do what any of the tentpole movies are supposed to do. These are, like, if Insidious Chapter 2 or whatever, 69 Ghosts or whatever, if that one makes no money, then something bad happens. Like, it'll be like the last Saw, which supposedly they're bringing back this year, so of course they are. But horror movies cost like like $12 million, and they pay for themselves. Like I'm talking about the Lone Rangers of bombs, where the director needs them to rebuild a 1800s steam locomotive so that they can shoot on it, and they're going to pay Johnny Depp $20 million to be culturally inappropriate. So those are the movies where Subway is having a year long of advertising dedicated to the movie that's coming out, that's going to help them pay off. Those, I'm looking for those. Like, say what you will about Solo, I'm willing to bet it's not going to be Lone Ranger, like, loss of money bad, but it could be. And, like, that's why, like, I point them out, like, ahead of time to see what's coming up, so. Alright, guys, peace.